I've been trying to film this video for the past couple of weeks. It's just always been on my mind because I'm like it's almost the end of April and I need to post a video. And I've had the topic and I've recorded a video and I did it in like a different type of way where instead of like getting the idea and letting it come to me and fleshing it out a little bit, I kind of recorded it while I was in bed and I was like, the thoughts are here, let me just record it. Long story short, I'm re-recording it. I'm here. It is April 19th. We got like a week and a half to go until the end of April. I told myself I would record a video every single month for the year of 2025, and I'm still on track. It is fine. Also, it feels like I haven't done this in a long time, and I feel like I'm trying to get back into the groove. I feel like I'm coming to this with just like different energy. Um, I'm not like super bubbly and like excited or like visibly excited. Yeah, I don't know. Just like a lot of things have been happening and a lot of things have been on my mind, and I'm reminding myself to still be creative in I won't say little, but in these different ways. Currently, I am in the space where I don't know if I'll have a job at the end of April. So I feel like that's definitely affecting my creative process, but I won't say if it's affecting it in a bad way. I was just talking to one of my really good friends, and I was telling her like one of the things that has been inspiring me lately is the energy of like uncertainty, the energy of the unknown, and how when I'm placed in these situations where I have to really just surrender to what it is that I'm going through and surrender to the unknown, I create some of my best work. And the last couple of times that this happened was during the pandemic. And that was like a time of uncertainty for everyone. We didn't really know what was going on, we didn't really know what was going to happen. And I was my most creative at that time. I ended up shooting my self portrait quarantine series. I ended up creating The Wonders Inn, which was a portrait series that I did with a few creatives. I ended up shooting my grief self portraits. I ended up shooting a beautiful photo story with Tommy. I worked on a lot of amazing stuff, and I look back at that time and it was so rich and full of creativity. And I thrived. And there are other moments like that in my life where things are so uncertain and I'm just having to surrender to being uncomfortable, and I'll create something that I couldn't have even imagined. So, yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. And because I'm still currently at my job, but there is this like looming, will it happen? Won't it happen? Um, I feel like I'm kind of in this space where it's like, okay, I've been here before where my contract um is ending and they extend my contract, and then I freak out a little bit because I'm just like, I need a job. But then I end up staying on, and that's kind of been happening for 2 years. So I'm at the point now where it's like, are they going to extend my contract? Are they going to give me salary, or are they just going to let me go because of, yeah, just because of what's happening in the world? So I don't know. I'm feeling the excitement bubbling up. I'm feeling it. The ideas are coming to my head. They're like at the tip of my tongue, ready to be created, but it feels like there's so many factors. I won't say hindering it. It feels like I'm waiting on so many things where it's like I'm waiting on my job. I applied to this Google fellowship application, waiting for that. I'm waiting to hear back from this grant that I applied to. It kind of feels like my creativity is just like waiting on something to hit. If I get let go, I'll go full steam ahead in this direction. If I get accepted to this, I'll go full steam ahead in that direction. If I get this grant, that'll take me in a completely different direction. So I feel like I'm at a crossroads and there's like three paths that I could take, and I'm just kind of waiting until like something happens on either one of these paths to where I can be like, okay, that's the direction I'll go in. But while I'm sitting here and kind of waiting, I do feel like I'm preparing myself um, for whatever may happen. Like, I have a deep fear of the unknown. I've realized, I've come to terms with that, and just uncertainty. And maybe it's not a fear, but I definitely do not feel comfortable in uncertainty. Like, it does feel like my nervous system gets a little bit wrecked and my anxiety ramps up and like all of these things. And there's a part of me that's trying to fix it and a part of me that's trying to make it okay. And I'm realizing like nothing will make it okay. You have to just sit in what is uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's just currently what's like mainly on my mind. I'm just being really honest with myself. I'm kind of surrendering to a lot of things right now, and I'm allowing myself to sit in the uncomfortableness and figuring out who I am while I'm here. Like, what do I need? How can I take care of myself? And preparing myself in those ways, like still keeping up with my routines so I don't get so dysregulated. Um, and yeah, honestly, just taking things moment by moment, still finding ways to be creative that doesn't feel like it's taking too much from me because I'm just going through a lot right now. But yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared. Um, I feel like crying. Um, yeah, I am scared. And I'm realizing I have to be honest with myself because I do like I am a fix it type of person where it's like, okay, we need to no, 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 no. If it feels uncomfortable, like we need to not deal with this. And I am a fix it type of person, but I'm realizing I can't fix this. I have to just surrender to it. There are some things that I can fix, and that's why I have that attitude, and it works out. But I realized that I tried to do that, and it felt like I was a little bit disillusioned, um, and it didn't feel great, and it kind of led to me breaking down in the way where I was holding so much in and I was like hiding my fear from myself and not really wanting to talk about it and being like, "Oh, it'll be okay. Like it's going to be fine. I'm going to do this. Like I have this in place. Like it's going to be good. Like it's going to be fine. Like don't worry. You're going to be great. You're going to get this." And it's like, yes, those things are true. I am great. I am talented. I will land many other things. I will go to where I'm supposed to go, but I am also afraid. I am also, yeah, I'm just afraid of the uncertainty. And I think that's okay too. I think I can sit in both. Like, it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, you can exist in knowing that you'll be okay and that everything always does work out and that I am talented and I am intelligent and I always land on my feet. But it's also like I am scared though. Like, I'm scared. That's currently where I'm at. But I've also been preparing in the ways where it's like ideas have been coming up and I've been writing them down. And I'm like, okay, if I get this, I am going to do this idea. And even if I don't get that one thing, I can still build this idea out and pitch it to other people because it's still a good idea. I'm still going to find a way to make it happen. So it's like doing that and reaching out to my community and leaning on them where it's like, I usually work alone. I feel like I do work the best when I'm alone, but this next level that I'm preparing myself for, I have to work with other people. I do feel like I'm in a, a point in my life right now where in this moment I'm needing to just not be action oriented, not be like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm reaching out to this person, I'm doing this. I feel like I am being called to sit still for a minute and maybe work through some of the things that are coming up that I know are hindering me from moving through the glass ceiling of my own making. So yeah, I'm being as still as I can be with still having to work and still having to take care of myself and um, interact in the world as a human being. But yeah, your girl is not doing too much. Your girl is pretty much laying low. I've been interacting with people in ways that feel good, where it's like I recently just went to the Tommy Richmond concert here in New York with a good friend of mine, and we had the best time ever. So that was really fun. And that was like a couple of hours outside the house doing something where we're listening to music and supporting these fucking amazing artists, and that felt really good to me. Hanging out with my boyfriend and going to the science center and doing things like that, and having phone conversations with my friends where every Saturday we'll be having like creative conversations where we're just talking about things that inspire us or things that caught our eye or show each other what we're doing and ask for our opinions. So I'm still have been trying to be an active participant in my life. I've come to this realization a couple of days ago. So I'm still really like sitting in it. And a lot of things that I'm saying in this video, I kind of am saying for the first time out loud. So as I'm saying it, I'm kind of like, damn, girl, like, yeah, actually, you should be doing that. Actually, you are in this energy where you should be like sitting still. Um, so yeah, I'm I'm a little scared, but I am excited. There, I'm not scared to the point where I'm like paralyzed. I feel like a little bit of fear, um, right before like a big change in your life is very normal. Or being a little bit afraid of your goals or like where you're headed is perfectly fine as long as it doesn't like paralyze you, right? Like the fear that I have always propels me forward in some way. And I don't know how I'd be doing that, but I don't want to question it. I'm grateful. That's been on my mind. Um, Also, with being with my friends in these type of ways, like meeting up with my friends and having these conversations with them about creativity and about community and different things that are happening in our lives, it's making me realize how important like cultivating a life that you are very proud of and that you love IRL. I know that we are so digitally connected that sometimes it's hard to really connect outside of the phone or outside of the computer and have conversations face to face and talk about topics that aren't like trending, or if we do talk about topics that are trending, just hearing like real people's perspectives I'm realizing that we just get like so caught up in the little bubbles that we create online, like our own digital worlds. It's like my For You page is so curated to like whatever I'm going through in that moment, or whatever I was going through a month ago, or whatever I was interested in that moment. Because I also did used to use TikTok as like a Google, where it's just like, oh, what does this mean? Or what are these people doing? Or like, what is this? And it would just start showing me more of that. Um, did I lose it? Did I lose the point? A little bit. But yeah, it's just, I'm realizing how important it is to just be an active participant in building the life that you want outside of the internet. Because it's also like, what happens if the internet goes away? Like, I feel like people don't think about that too often. Like, the internet feels so big and so interconnected that it's just like always going to be here. But, like, what if there is a point that we don't have the internet and people will not be able to connect in the ways that they have had to for the last like 20 years. And then also thinking about all of that has me thinking about collective voyeurism and feeling watched by the internet, or just like watched by people on the internet. And it's, I feel like I feel that more on Instagram, and I even catch myself doing it sometimes, right, where it's like, oh, it'll be somebody's birthday and you'll watch their story, and then it'll kind of just be over with and you're kind of like, okay, like, yeah, that was cool. But I found myself being like, just wish that person a happy birthday. That's like so odd that you were just like watching them enjoy their birthday at a party. Like, say happy birthday. That's like a human thing to do. Like, interact with this person. I don't know. There's something about watching a person but not interacting with them that I've been kind of contemplating a little bit, but I haven't gotten deep enough to where I'm like, oh, it's this, or it feels like this because of this. I'm sure there are papers out there. I'm sure there are think pieces out there where people are having the same feeling and they've connected the dots, and I can connect my dots to their dots, but I have not done that. So, and there's also a part of it where it's like people have just built like an online persona that is just not them. Like, there are people out there who have built a persona where they're kind of just like so mean and they say such disgusting things to people online, and they are not like that in their real life. In real life they are so very quiet, they are so shy, but like the internet gives certain people just like a little bit of separation where they can just be whoever it is that they want to be, and you're kind of just like, who are you? Like, who am I on the internet? Like, how do I show up? I don't know. I've been thinking, and I'm trying not to say I don't know. I do know. I've just been thinking about this a lot. I've actually taken a social media break. Every now and then, I just like delete Instagram and I stop going on TikTok, because I find myself taking in the narratives and just like different people's opinions. And sometimes it's hard to differentiate what they believe and what I believe. And once I get to that point, I'm like, you need to put the phone down. The phone needs to go down, the apps need to be deleted, you need a break. And I haven't really been on TikTok for maybe like 2 weeks. And for Instagram, it's been like a week and a half where I just like deleted the app. And a part of me is kind of just like, I can't really delete all of it because the work that I do requires me to be online and to kind of see what's happening. And through looking at certain job listings, it's so interesting where people are like, oh, are you chronically online? Do you know what trends are happening before they even happen? And being chronically online is something that you do not want to be. It being chronically online is not a good thing. And the fact that these jobs want you to be so plugged into every single narrative, every single trend that's happening, it's kind of just like it's not good for your mental health. And I'm talking from my perspective, right? Where it's like I feel like I am a person that is so deeply plugged into culture, like to the point where if I'm offline for a little bit, I can just plug back in and it'll only take me a day to kind of catch up on like what's happening. And then I'm just like plugged back in and you through context clues and through people saying certain things, and if you're just like quick enough to get it, you'll get it and you're just like plugged back in. Being chronically online is not a thing that you want to be, and the fact that these jobs want you to do that for little to no pay feels like a form of abuse. I'm just gonna say it. It feels like a form of abuse. Okay, so I recently watched a video on YouTube where this woman was talking about the different types of pipelines that happen, where it's like all of these trends that are happening are connected to a different narrative that's out there right now. Perfect example, she talked about like if you have gotten your heart broken, you are going online and you are searching for certain things related to that topic, which the algorithm will eventually lead you towards videos that are talking about, oh, men ain't shit, men are this. Have you been done dirty by a man? This is how I've been done dirty by a man, which will then lead you to videos where it's like, how to manipulate a man and get everything that you want, which will then lead you to videos where it's like how to use a man for money and to get back at him and like all of these things. And it just something as simple as like being curious about someone's story and wanting to know how to probably heal from a heartbreak and wanting to hear stories from other women or to see how they dealt with it, it like can quickly lead you down this path where you're so deep in it to now you're kind of just like fully tapped into like Shira 7. No shade to anyone tapped into Shira 7. I was tapped into Shira 7 at one point. And she do be making some good points. And there was a point where I had to just be like, whoa. What she's talking about, I kind of don't, that kind of doesn't fully resonate with me. And I realized I was like, whoa, I don't think I want to move through the world with this mentality. And Shira 7 is a very like very personable woman. Like she's funny. She has very quick quips. Um and you can get kind of sucked into that where you're just like watching her videos a lot, but like that is being seeped into your mind and your algorithm then knows that you are watching these types of videos, so it's giving you more of that. And if you don't take a break to step out of that, you can be fully immersed in that lifestyle now. Where this is how I think. It's connecting me to people who also think like that. And now in my real life, I am meeting people who also think like that. I don't know. It's just I found that happening to myself, not only with that, but with like certain ideologies, like spiritual information, where you can clearly get sucked in so deep to where if you don't really question, do I really believe this? Like, how do I feel about what it is that I'm hearing? Then it will shape how you move through the world. And there were moments where I've like realized that was happening. And then I was like, okay, I need to take a break. I need to take a break and I need to just get familiar with my own energies, like my own values and what I believe in. Because like just being constantly tapped into different trends and different beliefs, it's like so easy if you are not critically thinking, if you are not asking yourself, what does this mean? What do they mean by that? How do I feel about this? What are other people saying outside of this bubble that I have put myself in. That's been on my mind. Um, so I've just been like doing a little research into that because I knew that I wanted to talk about these topics. And I was like, okay, I feel like this video is related to what I do want to talk about, and maybe it'll give me a little bit motivation to like record what's on my mind. And then I've also been thinking about like devotion to the creative process and being so devoted to my craft. Like thinking of my creativity as like something to be revered, something to be honored, something to be respected, because I feel like there are moments in my life where I come at my creativity kind of crazy, where it's like, this is a good idea and it can make me money, which I personally feel like I don't want to have that type of relationship with my creativity where I only look at it as like a cash cow. And I've been trying to see my creativity as like a partner of mine. Like we partner together and our union creates these ideas. And in thinking of it like that, it allows me to come to my creativity with more respect, with more patience. It's not something to be rushed, it's not something to be forced. If I'm feeling stuck, it's for a reason. So let me kind of stop and figure out what it is that I'm doing um, that's causing this creative block. I remember a couple of years ago where I had the thought of like, oh, I'm married to creativity, and creativity treats me so well in this relationship, and sometimes I take advantage of creativity, and sometimes I leave creativity, but creativity always allows me to come back into union with it and embrace it in these new type of ways. And while I was thinking about that, that popped into my head and added to the equation. And yeah, I'm thinking that before I embark on this next part of my life, I need to do a little work with my creativity and just the things that I'm working through, like uncertainty and how that all comes together. I sat down to make this video thinking that I was only going to talk about like collective voyeurism or like building a life IRL and creativity, not knowing that I was going to be talking about like what I'm actually currently going through. But it's like, why wouldn't I talk about that, right? Like, it just didn't cross my mind that I could like do that. I don't know what the future holds, but by next month, I should, in a couple of weeks, I should know kind of what's happening. And it'll be interesting when I come to the May video diary entry, like what space I'll be in. But I'm excited. I know that whatever happens with this job, with the Google application, with this grant, or anything else I decide to embark on, one, rejection is protection. Like, I understand that if I am being let go from a certain situation, it's because I am being propelled forward towards something so much better, 10 times better. And I'm trying to reframe that. I'm trying to hold that reframing in my mind because it's way better than being like, oh my God, they let me go. It's because they hate me, or I'm doing this, or I'm not good enough. Like, I've been working on focusing on the best case scenario instead of the worst case scenario. If I do get let go from this job, it is because I am being prepared for my wildest dreams. This was just a stop on the journey, and I was here for 2 years and I've learned so much. Not only did I learn about ideating, not only did I learn about corporate world, how an agency works, but I am a much better graphic designer because of it. I have gained skills that I didn't even realize that I needed in order to bring my personal projects to life. Like I everything that I am learning at this job is propelling me towards wherever it is that I'm going. So, and same goes for the Google application. Like I applied to that application and this was the second time I applied to it, but this time I decided to create a video for the application. And I created it in 2 days. I produced it, I directed it, I wrote the script, I acted in it. 2 days. And it is phenomenal. Okay? It is so good. I showed it to 3 people and they were just like, yeah, girl, speechless, no words. You even if you don't get it, you are it. And I know that. And I told myself while I was creating that video, I was like, even if they don't pick me, even if I don't get chosen for this opportunity, I'm going to put this video out into the world because it's too fucking good. It is too good. And I'm just not going to gatekeep myself. I'm going to put it out there because who knows who's going to see it and what opportunities will lead from that. And I'm a little afraid to even do that, which means I have to do it. I'm just going to do it. So if I don't hear from them by the last day in April, it is going out May, and I am just going to put it out there and see what happens and move forward. So I am excited to look back on this video in a month to kind of see how much has changed, or 2 months, or 3 months, or at the end of the year, and be like, I cannot believe I was worried about that. Like, girl, look at where you're at now. But yeah, yeah.